BLASKO, Zakk! Let's do the Dunlop questions! Hey, what's going on out there in rock world? This is Zakk Wylde, and I got asked by my Dunlop family over there to answer a couple questions here. So let's get started here. Is there a chance you would ever make another Pride and Glory album? No. I guess, you gotta figure. This next Black Label, opus, or whatever, Dreamcoat Spectacular we put on the next Black Label album. That thing goes belly up. And, we're back out homeless or living in the van down by the river. Then, yes, we will put that Pride and Glory album together and make that happen. As far as the creation process of that music from the Pride and Glory records, and that type of music compared to the Black Label stuff, I would have to it's very easy. Pride and Glory was based on a lot of alcohol. Black Label just basically a lot of glue and Kim Kardashian quick trip. Next question. As guitarists, we develop certain styles based on who we like to hear play. Who was your early inspiration to start playing? And do they still influence your writing and playing today? I'd have to say, yes, of course. I mean, it's obviously Father C.C. DeVille. Look what the cat dragged in, and let me tell you, he dragged in a lot of chops, a lot of pence, and a lot of diet tonics. Aside of Father C.C., obviously, Randy Rhoads, St. Rhodes would be huge, and still to this day, Frank Marino, Mahogany Rush is huge on me. So it was my John Coltrane experience, realizing that that's what you could do with pentatonic scales on steroids. John McLaughlin is a very huge on me. Al Di Meola, Eddie Van Halen in there just for the fact that he changed the game that much. And Jimmy Page is huge on me, and then also Jimi Hendrix. So that's just a little list of some of the guys. But obviously I love Albert Lee and a lot of country pickers as well. But there's so many great guitar players that, it's just, I still enjoy listening to all of them, whether it's Ted Green, Joe Pass, or any of the other jazz cats and everything like that. But, that's why I always tell kids, just listen to as many great players as you can and just, digest as much information as you can from them. Moving on to the next question. How do you know when and where to use a flanger, a phaser, a wah-wah, or a chorus? It's like when you're having relations with your girlfriend or your wife. At what time do you break out what toy, when and where to get the job done? That's pretty much how I use my pedals. Next question. Musicians can sometimes struggle with the difficulty of finding others with a good chemistry to play with and, to write, and have financial troubles, lose faith in the prospect of making a future in music, etc. Do you have any advice for struggling players? Wow, with this kind of information right now, I don't know why anybody would want to join a band. But let's see. Obviously, you got to be buddies first off from the get-go. So that usually helps. Good musicians can always hang with good musicians. Just like football players or baseball players, you get good guys on a team. I understand, clubhouse chemistry and getting along with them, but once again, that comes down to, who your buddies are and who your friends are. You don't work at it, you're just friends. So, but as far as a good chemistry, let me see, have financial troubles. If you have financial problems, you lose faith in the prospect of making a future in music. Well, that's easy. If you have financial problems, you and the fellas in the band either hook up with a couple strippers, mooch off of them all for a little while, eat mac and cheese with them, sleep on their floors, do whatever it is you got to do, and then, take all the girls' money and put it into your band and buying band equipment and stuff like that, and getting a van and a U-Haul, and then off to Madison Square Garden, the journey begins. Next question. Every musician has those musical moments where the music turns to magic. Can you tell us about one gig or performance that you will never forget and why? Well, it would probably happen to be a couple of them in there, but one big one would happen to be when I started playing with the boss. First gig I did, I played at Wormwood Scrubs Prison for all lifers. And I don't know if you've seen any pictures of Uncle Zakk back in the day, but I was pretty much the closest thing to Farrah Fawcett or Pamela Anderson these fellas were probably going to be seeing in a long time. I remember that gig fondly, and to this day I still have trouble sitting down and having bowel movements. But we'll move on to the next question. How do you approach writing songs? Has this been something that has always come naturally to you? Or did you develop this ability through experience? Oh, I don't feel I really write these songs. I just steal everybody else's ideas and twist them and bend them and turn them into my own thing, and are actually just a watered down, terrible version of the original thing. But so far, this far, it's helped me out immensely. Next question. Considering your diverse influences, how did you end up with the Les Paul EMG Marshall combo sound you use? And specifically, why did you switch from Metaltronic preamps with the rack effects to Marshall JCM 800s with the simpler guitar analog pedals amp setup? Well, I mean, that actually happened. I mean, right from the first amplifier, first album I did with the Boss, No Rest for the Wicked, that is a Marshall JCM 800 combo amp, doubled. And that's what that is. That's not Metaltronics, and I didn't use them for that. Actually, any album that I've ever recorded on, and that's a fact. So, but that was thanks to Keith Olsen, because I plugged into an amp. We couldn't get my sound. Keith Olsen had me plug into a Marshall JCM 800 combo amp, and I doubled it, and that's what you hear on Miracle Man and all that stuff. So ever since that point on, I use JCM 800s, 100 watt tops, and I got the combo still. I have one of them at my house now. But yeah, the JCM 800, just because it's so simple, it's a 100 watt top, 2203, and that's what my signature amp is based off of, because it's like a pair of Levi's and a t-shirt. It doesn't go out of style, and it works, and it's like a wheel. It's round, it goes around, and it's simple and it works. So, you know, kind of like peanut butter and jelly, beer and pretzels, heroin, glue, things like that. And how did I get started with the Les Paul? Obviously, since all my heroes played them, Jimmy Page, Randy Rhoads, a lot of the 70s guys that you'd always see, it was always, all these amazing players would always have a Les Paul. You know, you have your custom guys and your standard guys, / your standard guy, and Jimmy Page, standard guy. I really love the Les Paul custom. It's clean, it's got a lot of bottom, the fidelity, the highs, the mids, everything like that. So it just, I love the guitar. And I tell any kids, if they buy a Les Paul custom or a Les Paul standard, it's an investment. You'll never have to buy another guitar. So that's why. As far as the EMGs, I remember trying the EMGs years ago. I was actually one of my guitar students I was teaching. Had a little Fender Mustang, or it might have been a Jag. And all I remember is the guitar sounded, the clarity in the guitar was like mind blowing. So whereas I had my Les Paul custom with the stock pickups in at the time, and then it just sounded, the difference between my student's guitar to my Les Paul, and the more wood on my Les Paul, the whole 9 yards. But when I plugged that guitar in with the EMGs, it just sounded like a moving blanket was taken off my Marshall combo, and I could hear the highs, the classy highs, the mids, the crunchy bottom end, and so I was just sold from that point on. So just the immense difference, and it's not even like a tiny difference, it's a massive difference. Let's see what we have here. Next question. How did you discover your signature pinch harmonic, and when did you start incorporating it into your music? Actually, I remember my guitar teacher, Leroy Reich, he showed me, with LaGrange or like Tush and stuff like that, with Billy F. Gibbons, Father Billy F. Gibbons, and he would do the pinch harmonics and artificial harmonics, and pretty much like on the G string and the D string and stuff like that. So I was just like, how's he getting that sound? And when Leroy taught me the technique of how to do it, we're using a bit of your nail and the pick and everything like that. So I would just practice it on every string, and eventually, just doing it on the low strings, and then doubling it when we started doing like Miracle Man and Crazy Babies and everything like that. And it's so funny you mentioned that in here, because Oz actually said to me when we were doing No Rest for the Wicked, he goes, "That's going to be your thing." And I was just like, "What?" And he said, "The fact that you crap your pants and you stink. Aside of that, yes, you're those woo woo woo, those things that you do, and those are pinch harmonics, but the boss knows them as woo woo woos. That's what he calls them." But yes, and after that, he told me to go change my trousers because I stunk. So I hope you enjoyed that thoroughly. I have to go put some eyeliner on and some rouge and my fishnets and go into my oxygen chamber and get ready for the big hot rock show and the Black Label Mass. Bye now.